The opinions expressed in the following program are that of the guests. They do not necessarily reflect the opinions of Graffstars, The Art of Writing, the HECKONE Duel Network, its affiliates, or any association thereof.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
Hector always knew he was going to make it. It was like he was prepared for it. Hector! Hector! Hector!
Hector! In a world where defending your reputation meant everything and credibility was established through style and originality, graffiti was born. For the last 40-plus years, through fights, wars, and raids, writers sacrificed everything to develop the art of writing. Now, Graffstars will give you a front-row seat into the minds of some of the most influential writers of our time.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Well, if you're feeling alright and you think you're on, somebody let me know. Well, everybody in the place put a whistle in your face, scream it out and say, yo, hey! You don't stop, or rock the rhythm that makes your finger pop. I said hip-hop, thanks a lot. Come on, everybody, give me what you got. I'm gonna tell you a little story about the Sugar Hill Gang with a pow-pow boogie and a big bang bang.
They call themselves writers because that's what they do. They write their names, among other things, everywhere. Names they've been given or have chosen for themselves. Most of all, they write in and on subway trains, which carry their names from one end of the city to the other. It's called bombing.
Yeah.
Graffstars. Graffstars.
We out here. Another episode, baby.
All right. Another episode, baby. Yo, really happy about bringing on this guest tonight.
Yeah.
I think everybody's going to be pleasantly pleased with who we're going to grab, you know what I mean?
I think it's going to be a very, very, very special guest. You know, I'm really, really glad to have this person on the show. It's someone of historic value.
All the moms out there, we're going to wish you a happy Mother's Day. Thank you for everything you do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, happy Mother's Day to all the ladies and to the stepmoms. You know, you guys count as well. The mother-in-laws, you know what I'm saying?
And expecting mothers.
And expecting mothers as well, you know. Happy Mother's Day.
Graffstars.
Happy Mother's Day.
Big shout out to, again, all our supporters as we continue to grow this platform and our audience. We just want to be very thankful of everyone who's been sharing and contributing to the cause. So, what about you, D? What's been on your mind, man? What you want to start off and say?
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, we're growing pains and everything else. I'm really happy that we're actually moving along. You know, getting a lot of good feedback for our podcast. Making a lot of connections. So yeah, I'm happy about that. You know.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
No complaints, man. No complaints is what I'm saying.
No complaints. The last episode was very fun. A lot of people liked it. So, again, thank you for that. You know, we want to continue just to make you guys happy and bring you stuff that you want to hear.
Yo, go ahead and introduce yourself, brother.
Yeah, this is Min1, second to none, all-time true legend, Rolling Thunder. I'm rocking with HECKONE DUELONE Graffstars.
I got into graffiti just like riding the trains when I was younger, you know, looking at, you know, old writers' shit, you know. Like a lot of new writers around, like they, you know, you talk to them about a lot of old writers, see, they don't even know what you're talking about.
I wrote from on the trains, I wrote from mid-1977 till I quit in 85, New Year's Day of 85, but then, like, you know, I still wrote, like, you know, I did a whole car shy, 147 whole car end-to-end in his memory in 86. And, you know, I did a few bombs with you and, like, with Cat and with, you know, my boy Shane, let him rest in peace, you know, like, in, like, the, you know, 90, 92.
Wow, that's what's up. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, brother. You know what I'm saying? A man.
It really is.
Yeah, man, a person of your magnitude, you know, so 77 to 85, man, that's a pretty, you know, on the trains, that's a long time.
I went riding almost every day, you know.
Yeah.
So like from in the 70s, I would go like maybe like 3 times a week.
Okay.
You know, but like in the 80s, I was going like every day. I would like hit rush hour layups in the morning and in the afternoon, and then I'd hit like, you know, yards at night or, you know, layups, you know.
The amount of bombing you did, I mean, it was an incredible amount. Where did you get this paint to support this habit, man? I mean, seriously, like, you know?
I was an incredible racker, man. You know, I mean, me and, you know, Quick and, you know, I used to go racking with Iz a lot. We used to go to Long Island. And, you know, in the early, you know, like before it got real burnt in the city, I used to kill the stores in the city. I mean, and my boy Kel, my partner Kel, you know, when we were partners, he used to work in Pearl Paint. I used to walk into Pearl Paint and walk out with like, you know, 10 crates of paint.
Shit.
When he worked there.
What, the Canal Street spot or what?
Yeah, the Canal Street spot. I used to walk in there and like he would have like 10 crates of paint. And like I was cool with the manager. The manager knew who I was, and Kel was cool with the manager. And he just let us used to do it like that. I would walk in, he'd be like, yo, go pick out what you want. But that's not where I got all my paint. I got all my paint from racking. You know, that was just like a time, you know, like a few months that we were able to do that. You know what I'm saying?
How exactly were you getting 10 crates of paint back? That must have been crazy.
Oh, I would just like, you know, have some girls come with me and help me carry it back to my crib. You know,
ladies man over here.
Hey.
Ladies man, men one.
Yo, I used to bring this girl that like I used to fuck around with when I lived in Flatbush.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm from Brooklyn.
Okay.
You know, I grew up in Brooklyn. And, you know, I used to like fuck around with this girl named Eliza, and like she used to come with me to the city, and like she used to rack up for me, and you know, we would rack up together, and yo, this shit was crazy, man. I used to bring a few girls racking with me.
That's
you know
crazy.
what I'm saying? And like, you know, I'd show them how to do it, and like, you know, but really how I used to get like the massive amount of paint, like me and Satch, like we'd go to like Long Island.
Yeah.
Saturday, and we'd come back with like, you know, like 150, 160 cans apiece. And we would have so much paint in the back of his mother's station wagon that the back of the station wagon would be like hitting it would be like almost rubbing against the tires.
The destruction freaking struggling.
Damn.
It was crazy, bro.
That's like if you were
You
carrying.
know, like I would like, you know, I was always really little, and I would go with like Satch was like 6'3", 6'4". His was like 6'2". Let them rest in peace. And like, all I would have to do was stand in back of them, and I used to wear like big puffy, you know, goose downs, and I would get like 25, 30 cans on me, as little as I was.
Right.
A store. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
And, you know, it was crazy. I mean, me and Pade used to go on his motorcycle because my boy Pade, PD.
Yeah. Okay.
PAD.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah, he used to piece with me and Cal. He used to do wild style whole cars with us. And he used to do throw-ups with me, PD throw-ups on the RRs and, like, you know, the IRTs and shit like that. You know, and we would go on his motorcycle racking and, like, we would come back with like 150 cans on his motorcycle.
Damn.
Shoving it in the saddlebags and shit.
Yeah. It was crazy. Yeah, that was the thing, you know, that's like what to me has changed so much. Like what I see in graffiti is like, number one, the paint they have now is like meant for graffiti. Took like a lot of years of like writing, you know, to like really get like, you know, shit down where like my shit wouldn't drip, you know. You used to have to do, if I did like a pastel aqua outline or a white outline, I would have to do like 3 outlines over each other to make it look opaque.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Which is hard because to do an outline over an outline over an outline, you know, isn't easy. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a real steady hand. You know, one thing I always had was a steady hand. You could see that from like my top to bottom whole cars. I used to do one thing; those shits were like mad, big and straight. You know what I'm saying?
Well, dude, didn't somebody mention recently that fucking men's throwaways were like fucking tattoos that you would still, even when they would blast it, you would still see the ghost of it. I guess that makes sense now that you're saying you would do the double fills. Yeah, I think it was Sloan or So, but I want to say Sloan probably. I think it was Sloan.
No, it was Sloan.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Sloan.
Big shout out to Sloan.
Yo, the shit was like, you know, when I bombed, man, like I still had like, you know, every train, every line. The only lines I was never king of, I was king of every line except for the 6 and the 7s.
Oh wow.
I hit the 6 and the 7s, but every time I went to the 7 yard, I used to get raided.
Oh shit!
Like I'd go in the yard and me and Quick would get raided as soon as we would be in the yard.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? You know, but I hit the 7s before, but like I never kinged them.
Okay.
Right.
To me, those lines were like real small lines. Like I used to like big lines. You know what I'm saying? Like because to take over the 7s, you could do that in like, you know, 2 bombs. And you were like king of every. You would have every car both sides of the 7s.
Damn.
You know, if I hit the 7 yard twice, I would be king of it, or maybe even once. You know what I'm saying?
When you were hitting the 7s, did they have the fence around the yard at the time or no?
Yeah, hell yeah.
You already had the fence?
Yeah, they already
had the shingles hanging off it and everything, or what?
Yeah, she was crazy, man. They didn't have the dogs yet.
Okay.
But,
that was like pre-Mayor Koch action.
No, it was Mayor Koch.
A word? Okay.
Yeah, it was Mayor Koch.
You know, let's go back. Let's hit the rewind button just a little bit. So, you know, being your background and everything, you know, how in the world did you get into graph? Like, what was the catalyst that got you into graph? Like, what got it all started? How did it all begin?
Well, you know, my father was like a pharmacist, a chemist, and a MD doctor. And he was like very wealthy. I come from a very wealthy family. I used to live on 10 West 66th Street. I don't know if you're familiar with the Upper West Side, but like, you know, apartments in that building now are like millions of dollars.
Wow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because my father owned you know, but that was like, back then they weren't millions of dollars, but it was like one of the nicest buildings like on the Upper West Side. You know, it was like a 33-story building with like, you know, terraces and shit, and it had like, you know, wrap-around driveways with, you know,
doorman and all that.
Doormans with like, you know, uniforms, you know, and they
crown molding and gold freaking fixtures and whatnot.
Yeah, my father
Bellhop.
He owned a pharmacy called Haas and Thomas Pharmacy for like 35 years on 68th and Madison. And if you're familiar with that neighborhood, that was like one of the richest neighborhoods in the city. You know, it still is. You know, and like, you know, he used to like, you know, like his customers were like Al Pacino.
Oh, wow.
You know, Robert De Niro, Dinah Shore, Lucille Ball, you know.
Lucille Ball, huh?
Yeah.
Lucille Ball? Word?
Yeah, because she used to live. He told me where she used to live. She used to live on like 78th and like 2nd Avenue. I knew the building she lived in. Because my dad would, you know, like, since sometimes he would make, you know, have like the delivery guy deliver stuff. And he just, you know, I was like, where does she live? And like, he told me the building she lived in. It's like one of those fancy high rises on, you know, it was on like 70, I think it was like 74th and 2nd or 75th and 2nd. Like where they used to have all those Chinese restaurants, those fancy Chinese restaurants. So how I got into graffiti was my dad's sister, my aunt, better rest in peace, my Aunt Gloria, you know, she's a beautiful woman, you know, like, you know, we used to go see her like every weekend.
Yeah.
We would take the D train at 59th Street and Columbus Circle because I lived on 66 off Central Park West.
Okay.
So we would walk to 59th Street and get on it, you know, Columbus Circle. You know, I'd be like, you know, 7 years old, holding my father's hand, telling my dad, yo, don't walk too close to the end of the platform. I'd be like scared he was gonna like slip and fall in the tracks and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I would just see like, you know, like Jester, DY, G2, Vinny, In, on all these trains. And I used to be like, damn, man. You know, I was young, so I was like, yo, how did these dudes do this in the train station? You know, how did they have the time to do this?
Right.
And then I figured out that they did it in the yards. But I always was like, you know, intrigued by graffiti.
Yeah.
You know, like, even when I was like 5 years old and I used to ride the trains, I would like look at it and I'd be like, wow, you know, just something about it. It like, you know, certain things in life, like, you know, people are like, you know, attracted to, and it like catches your attention. And like for me, I always found it like, you know, like it was like amazing to me. Like these dudes are like painting all these trains, and I knew that it was, you know, certain dudes that was doing it a lot because I would see the same names. So I knew it wasn't like, you know, 3 different dudes writing Vinny. I knew, like, when I used to see Vinny's pieces, I was like, oh, and Is and shit, you know, and In. I knew it was like one dude, and I was like, damn, these dudes are fucking, like, they must live in the yards. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, you know, as I got older, and, you know, it was, you know, things like got like messed up. You know, I used to go to like private school. I used to go to like school with like Gene Wilder's daughter. Because I used to go to a private school called Walden. It was on 88th Street in Central Park West. Right. You know, because, you know, like my dad wouldn't have me going to no public school. You know, I told you he had mad money. Right. You know, they were like writers that went there, you know, and like, you know. Like, even at the private school? Yeah. You know, that's why I met SIE, Cy1, let him rest in peace.
Oh, wow.
RTW. His brother was Kep. His little brother used to write KEP. And he was king of the Central Park West buses. And he was like my best friend. And he lived across the street from Walden. And he used to come to my school, and I was like 11 years old, and he would come with like weed and like, you know, he'd come like get me out of my classroom, and we'd go up to like the roof of like Walden. Yeah. Not the roof, but like the staircase going to the roof. And like, I remember we used to call it the Stairway to Heaven. We used to go there and like, you know, smoke weed. We were like 11 years old, you know. And after a while, like, you know, like my father like started like, you know, he was like getting tired of my shit. He was like, yo, you know, you ain't supposed to grow up like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, I like kind of regret it. You know, I do regret it in a way, but you know, I had a ball when I wrote graffiti, but you know, to tell you the truth, it's like, you know, I wouldn't recommend it like to anybody to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would let my, you know, like my son like loves graffiti, and I told him I would kill him if he ever went to a yard. And he's like, how could you do that? And you were like the king of graffiti, and you wouldn't let me go to a yard. And I was like, because me being that, I know how dangerous it is, and all the things that are involved in it, the fighting. You know, because like after a while, like when I was king, like, you know, like me and Bo and you know, Rich, we on like some real like, you know, like crazy shit, like some rah-rah shit, like, you know. But we never jumped nobody. Yeah. But if you even like nipped our throw ups or our tags, you was getting a beat down. Yeah, like if you know, like if a dude was like too small for me, Bo beat him up. If he was a little bigger than Bo, I'd beat him up. If he was bigger than me, Bo would get him. I mean, Rich would get him, you know? And, you know, that's one thing dudes can't deny. You know, the dudes could say whatever they want about me or whatever, but, like, we never jumped nobody or nothing. And, like, you know, and dudes used to see, you know, when I used to, like, you know, when I was king of City Hall, you know, when I used to, like, take over a line, whatever layup was the biggest layup where they the trains up, that shit became mine. And like, you know, dudes wouldn't even really go there anymore. They would go there, but if they saw me in there, they would run. You know what I'm saying? Like these new writers, like, you know, they like see pictures of my shit, but they don't remember what it was, you know, like to like see my shit on every train. You know what I'm saying? You know, floaters, top to bottom, end to end, wild styles, window down, wild styles, you know, all city. And I was like, you know, and like Dondi, let him rest in peace, he used to bug out on me because he was like, yo, you paint those ridges like they're flats. You know what I'm saying? Because he used to like tell me, he was like, yo, there's no way that you could do a wild style on a ridge, or like, you know, like those slants and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah. And then like I would come back and I would show him pictures. He'd be like, damn, man, you paint that shit like a flat. Man, you paint that shit like it was a 205 train. And I would be like, yep.
Yeah, I remember you talking to me one time about back in the days when you were observing graffiti. You know, things used to run for like 2-3 years in a clip, but by the time you got, you know, real familiar and started crushing stuff, you had to race against the buff, man. Explain what that was like.
It was called Beat the Buff. It was like crazy because, like, you know, especially the ding dongs. I used to demolish the ding dongs, me and Quick, and
right.
Whoever I was riding with. I had a lot of partners. You know, I can't even get into how many partners I had, but every partner I had used to bomb. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, you know, you would hit like the E's and F's, and like the same week you hit it, it would be buff. So, you know, then I realized then you got to go almost every night and like, you know, beat the buff. You know, if you want to be up on every train, you got to go every motherfucking night, you know? Word. And it was like, you know, shit was crazy, you know. But, you know, like, eventually what happened, like, when I like, we kind of, like, my father got so sick of my shit, he, like, sent me to a home. It was called Hawthorne, and that's where, like, I met Bill Rock. That's where I originally met Bill Rock, Sage.
Okay.
Right.
You know, he's the one that made up RTW, you know. Like, he made up Rolling Thunder Riders, I made up Rock the World. You know, like, because he gave me the crew. You know, I'm the president. He gave me that shit, like, in, like, 82 when he quit. Because he, like, quit in, like, 82.
Right.
So he was going to either give it to me or Quick. And then he said, nah, Min is the one that got, you know, all the respect, and he's the one that bombs, and he's the one that, like, you know, does all the work, so I'm going to give it to him. And I remember, like, me and Quick had, like a thing about that, you know, like, Quick was, like, he, like, didn't talk for a while about that, you know. To me, it didn't mean shit, you know what I'm saying? It was, like, because really, if anybody... If the crew should have went to somebody, it should have went to me because I'm the one that made it what it was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody heard of RTW when Bill Rock wrote, but you know RTW, I don't care what anybody says, bomb more than any crew. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody say any other crew bomb more than RTW. I don't care. You know those old crews, like you know. That, you know, I'm down with them too, like, you know, Top and all that. Those are old crews, and like back then, those were like the king crews. But like I said, you know, they didn't buff like they did when, you know, I wrote.
Right.
You know, it was like a totally different, you know, like graffiti totally changed.
Right.
You know,
what years was that when that buff was going ham?
When it really started getting like heavy, like 81.
81, damn. Okay.
81, 80. Yeah, the Buff, they was, believe me, man. And they were even killing, like, I remember when I was hitting, like, the one insides, because that was, like, the first line I took king of on the insides when I first started bombing in early 77, was the one insides. You know, me, Zephyr, Mackie, you know, Revolt, you know, like, we used to go and hit the inside, and, like, I remember, like, parting them with the burners, and they would be buffed, like, same week. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like, I would see, like, cool part pieces, and they would be buffed, like, same week or the next week.
So you got to be...
And that was on IRTs. So you imagine what they were doing to the BMTs and, you know, like, the Ace Slants and, you know, the E&F Ding Dongs and the QBs and all these train lines that, like, don't even exist anymore I used to hit, you know? Like, whoever heard of the QB, you know?
I have.
Yeah, well, you heard of it. but you know, not new writers.
Right,
you know,
exactly.
You heard of it because you know your history through it, but not a lot of people do. You know,
right? So you had to be on
and
top
plus,
of it.
me
Then
and you know each other for like me and Duel know each other for a long time. So like,
right.
You know, I used to always tell you shit. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because like you started writing, you know, like later than me, but. You know, like when I stopped, you know, I seen y'all doing your thing and shit, you know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, man.
Out.
Yeah, did you
know?
always pay attention even though you stopped writing? Did you still pay attention to what was going on?
Yeah, but it was like in order for me to catch my attention, it would have to have like a certain look to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, cause there were dudes that told me, "Yo, you never heard of this dude? This dude's up on every train." And I was like, "Yo, I've never seen that shit." And like, you know, like I seen like dudes like, you know, after I quit, you know, like Ghost was still writing. You know what I'm saying? Duel, Cat, you know, dudes like that. You know, I would see their shit, you know, and I would notice it, and you know, of course I would respect it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because really, after I stopped, I was really like the last king. You know, to like do the transit, you know, what I did to it, you know, and it was like, you know, now I don't even really like talking about all that shit because, you know, I'm older now. So, you know, when I was younger, I was out together. When you talk to me, I was mad. You know, I would talk mad, you know, together, man. Duel remembers how I was.
I do. I'm mad.
Nah, but I'm glad you're saying it, man, because I mean, it was good as a lot of people do tell you and they show you the love that you deserve, but come on, man, like you definitely, you know what I'm saying, you're min RTW, you know, between that and when you wrote NE as well, you did a hell of damage. You know,
I wrote a lot of names, bro. I mean, I had Worth
Proof too, right?
Yeah, I had Dove Burners, Proof too. I had
Do too, right?
Yeah, DUE, whole car end-to-ends. I was shocked. I used to do that for him because he was in jail for murder at the time.
Gotcha.
And, you know, I used to tag up, like, all my boys that, like, you know, forget it, man. You know, I used to tag Shy up like crazy. You know, that was like my brother.
Wow.
God rest his soul, you know.
Yeah,
you know, I tagged him up everywhere. I still do.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
No, but that's you definitely did it with style too, man. Like what made you take, you know what I'm saying, take pride into burning, into doing, you know, pieces and stuff like that, aside from, you know, fill-ins and throwies and stuff? Like, what made you do that?
Well, like I said in Style Wars, right?
Mm-hmm.
If in order to be king, in order to be an all-out king, you can't just do throw up, you can't just do inside, you can't just do outside. You got to do everything, bro.
Right.
So, you know, if I was gonna go down, you know, and I'm the first one that ever wrote True Legend and all that. All these dudes that write Legend now, that shit all came from me. You know what I'm saying? And I could say that. You know, I'm not being souped up or saying it, you know, by saying it like that, but they all got that from me. I'm the one I used to write Min 1 all-time True Legend. Min 1, second to none, all-time True Legend at MTA. And I remember Donzi told me, he said, the first time he saw it, he said, yo, I seen you wrote this shit. And when I seen it, he said, only men would write some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? He was laughing about it. You know, let him rest in peace. He was like laughing about it. He was like, yo, where you come up with that shit? And I was like, yo, you know, everybody wrote King. Mm-hmm. So I, you know, I wanted to come out with some, you know, that was beyond King, but live up to it. You know, don't just write it, no Legend or King, because everybody, you know, how many people wrote King that, you know, wasn't King? You know what I'm saying? If, you know, I wrote some, it was because, you know, I was keeping it raw, you know. That was just like, you know, what I was doing and shit.
Gotcha.
But, you know, I don't know, man, you know, if it wasn't for, like, one thing I give a lot of respect to, one writer I give a lot of respect to who, you know, influenced me a lot was that dude Jester.
Okay.
You know, because I used to see he used to have tags in every train station on every line.
Wow.
And I could verify that. You know what that is, to be up in every train station on every line?
Damn.
And, you know, I met him in '79 on the Deuce. like when he was thin and he used to wear gazelles and he was like, you know, he didn't look like he looks now, but like, you know, I'm sure you've seen pictures of me and him, like the first time like we met like at a show. That, I mean, I met him years ago on the Deuce, but like when we took pictures, you know, together and shit, and like, you know, I was telling him, you know, he was telling me, he was like, yo, he even put online a few times. Imagine, he put a picture not that long ago online. Imagine if these two guys wrote together and there was a picture of me and him from this art show.
Oh, wow.
You know, like a few years ago, you know, and he wrote, you know, like, imagine if these two dudes wrote together, what transit would have fucking went through, you know?
It would have been like LeBron James and Michael Jordan, huh?
Yeah, it would have, exactly. You know, it was like, you know, Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan, Batman and Robin. You know, that's what they used to call them too.
Who would have been Robin? I was just
you know, just as a cool ass dude, though. You know, and like, you know,
word.
We both have a lot of respect for each other. But
right.
I'll tell you, man, when I used to be a little kid, man, that's the dude that I used to see up the most, man. Like, you know, like with the best style. You know, and I even remember seeing the tag he wrote. He wrote Jester, Money Maker, Woman Taker. And I was a little kid, and I was laughing. I was like, "Damn, this dude's crazy."
Well, now you had the women rocking with you now, so.
But you know, you know, like that was like graffiti, like everything. You know, that's like evolution. Everything, you know, goes a different way. You know, like the '80s graffiti. That, like, you know, even though I was a '70s writer too, you know, the '80s graffiti was totally different than, like, you know, the '70s graffiti. The shit that we were doing in the '80s was like crazy. You know, like all them wild styles. You know, 3Ds on, like, you know, ridges, slants, 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s. You know, slants, all that shit. It was crazy, man. You know, like dudes did shit like that. I remember Lee was telling me, like in like '83, he was like, "Yo, man, you better quit, bro, because if they ever catch you for who you are, yo, you don't know. They know you a lot. They know more about you and a lot about more about you than you think they do."
Oh, wow.
You know, and it's like they're gonna put you away for a long time. You know, and I was like, yeah, whatever, that's true, but you know, I had to stop when, you know, I just realized it was like, you know, it was at the point, like, you know, dudes was going over me. I was beating dudes down, and then they still go over me. So I was like, yo, it's going to come to a point where I'm going to, like, wind up maybe one day killing somebody by accident.
Damn.
You know, beating them up. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it just came to a point where it was like, I did so much in graffiti. It was, like, more, like, you know, exciting, like, when I quit, to see my shit getting buffed and not seeing Eddies on every damn single train and Mins on every single train.
Yeah.
That was like, you know, I was like, wow, this is like some new shit. Not seeing my shit on every train. You know, it was like a new thing to me, you know?
What was your most fun tag to bomb with?
You know, it all depended upon, you know, what I was going through in my life at the time. Certain years of my life, I was into doing like burners, and you know, then maybe the next week I just go hit like the E&F yard every day of the week with Quick.
Gotcha.
You know, and that's a big yard.
Yeah.
You know, we used to hit that shit on weeknights, and that's like 30 rows of fucking E's and F's.
Damn.
And it's also got a road around it, so we'd be in there doing dogs, and dudes would be coming to work. I'd be seeing dudes driving their cars, like, you know, like coming to work, you know, like, and, you know, all they have to do is look down the lane and they would see us. I don't know. I've been raided there so many times. I guess they did see us a lot of times. So, but that was like a good yard in a way to get raided in, because I've been like, a lot of times they would like wait. I would like leave the yard. I would be leaving the yard. One time I was leaving the yard with Paid, and we hit they also have a small side in the E&F yard where they used to keep the ridges and where they used to have the buffer. And we hit the big side and the little side. And when we were leaving, you had to like walk across like this big You know where the ENF yard is, right?
Yeah, off of Van Wyck.
Right, and you see that like walkway that
from path that takes you to the park.
Yeah, that takes you to the park, to the yard, but across that is it's all like residential houses. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
One time me and Dave, we were leaving. It was like 12 o'clock Sunday morning because we were in there from like 3 o'clock in the morning till 12 o'clock in the afternoon Sunday morning, and we were leaving, and the police came rolling up with their sirens on. You know, it's like broad daylight. You know what I'm saying? People are walking their dogs and shit, taking out the garbage, and all the, you know, transit cops. When I used to write, housing was separate from transit. New York cop, the blue and whites were separate, and transit and blue and white rolled up on us with the sirens on, but without the noise. You know what I'm saying? Like the lights were on, and they rolled up on us.
Code too.
Right. So you see all those highways over there. Dave was like, "Oh shit, yo, we busted." And I was like, "Yo, follow me, bro." We just like ran across like 3 different highways. You know what I'm saying? Like if you over there, you see all the different highways. You know, like there's like different lanes, and like, you know, the Van Wyck Expressway is right there, and you know, we just ran across. We were like running on the highway for like an hour and a half, and like, you know, we got away. And that was one thing, you know, I never got busted in the yard. I got grabbed outside of New Lots in Quick's car. But like they couldn't, like, we got arrested, but all the charges got dropped because they didn't catch us coming out the yard. They didn't see us coming out the yard. They just rolled up on us when we was in the car, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, there was all paint and everything in the car, but I used to wear gloves. They really didn't have no evidence that, like, we was in the yard. You know, the workers we say made reports that there were riders in the yard, but they couldn't, like, you know, when the workers came to court, they said, I can't say that this was the exact person I saw in the yard. You know, so the shit got, you know, like, thrown out. But I never got grabbed bombing.
Thrown out in court or thrown out when the cops grabbed you, they were like, all right, go home. And
No, I got thrown out in court. I did have to go to court for it.
Okay, right.
You know, I keep it real. I ain't gonna front. You know that shit happened, but you know, I didn't get caught. You know, like I never got caught for being NE, and you know, all the detectives were looking for me back then.
Damn.
You know, Curly and Ferrari were like the main detectives back then. And it was like crazy. You know.
So what? Like, I mean,
you tell me like, yo, don't go to Queens, man. Curly and Ferrari, man, they're gonna kill you when they catch you, bro. And I'm like, yeah, well, they got to catch me first.
You know? So you're giving us that one story right there, but what was the illest situation you ever got into when you were bombing? Or
a raid?
In the yard or any of that stuff? Like, that you were like, oh my God, I get out of this, I'll never write again. Yeah, I'll never write again.
This is it. Well, I was never like that. Because to me, it was like, you know, yeah, they ain't gonna never catch me. But the biggest raid I ever got was like 2:30 in the morning. There were like 30 LOC lookout crew. I don't know if you ever heard of them. They were like older writers that used to hit the A's, like Boltism and Key 189.
I heard of Boltism.
LOC, you know.
Yeah.
Those dudes, and you know, there were like 40 writers in the yard. Okay. And all of a sudden, they were just like DTs and cops in every fucking lane.
Damn.
And I'm telling Quick, yo, let's go. And I'm telling you, every lane we went to, there was fucking DTs with pea coats or uniforms swinging them work bum sticks under the trains, you know, to see if dudes were, you know, underneath the trains. And in the ENF yard, there were like only certain parts where you could get out because it was underneath projects. So you had to like jump in, but there were only like certain. There were like on the A side, there was like one side where you could climb up the pipes and jump up and grab the wall and climb out. And on the A side and on the C side, they had one side, and on the A side, they had like a certain spot. On both sides of the yard, because they were two separate, they were like separated like that. They kept all the A's on one side, all the A ding downs and the slants on one side, and the CC flats and Ridgie's on the CC side. And we were running back and forth from the A side to the CC side, from the A side to the CC side. And we were like literally in the yard running from cops for like an hour and a half. So I told Quick, like, when you jumped into the A yard to pick him in the back, there was like 40 feet from where you jumped into the yard, and then like the back stops would be right there and the trains would start. So I told Quick, yo, let's go to the end of the lane and just haul ass and run for the pipe, and let's just try and make our way out of it, because if we keep running around in here, we're eventually going to get caught. There's too many cops in the yard. And they had gates, and they also had a road around the A yard in there, and they were pulling up the gates. There were paddy wagons pulling in. I mean, you should have seen this shit. This shit looked like they were raiding murderers, bro. It looked like they were raiding like dudes robbing banks or murderers. So we went out, Quick did what I said to do, and we were running across the lane. So, like, the CC side was maybe, like, 25, 30 lanes. And each lane was, like, 4 or 5 trains long. That's how huge Pitkin Yard is. Right? And that's the CC side. And on the A side, it would be, there were, like, 25 lanes and about maybe, like, 2 or 3 trains long. The A side was a little shorter, and it had a little less lanes. I mean, it had a little less trains, you know, because each lane on the CC side would be like 4 trains long.
Yeah.
That's 40 cars, because each train is 10 cars long. Damn. You know? Yeah, that yard was huge, bro. I mean, that's why we used to be so up, man, because you go in there, and you know, we'd spend about 14 hours in there, and we used to go there like, you know, twice a week. And you just kill that shit. So, you know, I mean, man, forget it. You know, you're hitting a lot of trains, you know. So what happened was, we're running across lanes, and every lane we look down while we're running in that, like, portion of the yard where, like, you know, where the backstops are, where there's no trains, but you're running right near the trains. So we're looking down the lane. There's cops in every fucking single lane. So we got to, like, the corner of the yard, and we're running for the pipe to climb out the yard, right? So as I'm like, I was so little, Quick was pushing me up to grab the pipe. I'm serious, bro, because I jumped up and I slipped, so Quick, like, pushed me up. I grabbed the pipe. I jumped up to the top of the wall, and I see T-189 and Boltism and, like, 10 riders, like, hiding in between, like, a split, like, where the trains split.
Damn.
Right. You know, in the yard, you know where the trains split. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Right. So they're like hiding under the train, like right at the front where the train split. And I said, yo, man, y'all stay right there. Y'all niggas is going to jail. You know what I'm saying? So we jumped out the yard, and as soon as we jumped out the yard and we're in the street, there's paddy wagons, police cars, and they're like in like, you know, like on their knees. Please, don't move. Quick puts his hands up in the air, and I'm like, yo, run, motherfucker. And I just grabbed him by the back of his shirt, and we just hauled ass down the block. And that's a very big, you know, that whole yard is underneath Pitkin Projects. So the blocks are real long. We always used to go riding in Quick's Cordoba in this car.
Okay.
When I would go with Quick, we go in this car. I used to have a blue Cordoba. You know, that blue Cordoba was famous. Everybody used to say, yo, I heard Quick got a blue Cordoba. So we had it parked in the back. So I told Quick, yo, when we get to the corner, don't run down the street. Run to the street with the cars, where the cars are parked, and duck. Because when the cops come running down, they're going to be looking down, you know, like on the sidewalk, and if they see us, they're just going to chase us right there and grab us by the car by the time we get the car unlocked and get in the car and pull out. So when we were, like, ducking and, like, you know, like, running, like, on, like, in the street, and we got to Quick's car, like, the cops they were in cars and on feet. They're going, it's right on Linden Boulevard. So they're like running across the street into the projects across Linden Boulevard. They thought we ran to the projects across the street. So we just got in his car. You know, we got in. They didn't see us because they just ran across. And then when they looked down, you know, like the sidewalk where we were at, we were in the street ducking by his car. So they didn't see us. So then when we got in his car, we drove away. Like, fucking cop cars were in back of us. I was like, oh, shit, they're going to pull us over.
Yeah.
But they didn't know we had cars. You know, they figured riders would be, you know, just get, you know, they would just, like, you know, be in the street. They just, you know, run up on you and throw you in the cop car. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyway, we wound up getting away. You know, we drove away and everything. And we heard that night, everybody got caught except for me and Quick. Like, dudes were like, yo, how did Quick and Min, how were they the only ones to get away, and everybody got caught? Damn. And I told them niggas when we were climbing over the pipe, I said, yo, if you stay there, you're going to jail. You got to get out the fucking yard. And I'll never forget when I was, you know what it felt like when I was getting raided in that yard? It felt like I was on the Titanic. And, like, the Titanic was sinking. Yeah. And, like, we only had, like, a certain amount of time to get out till, like, you know, it was over. So, like, that's what it felt like to me. I remember telling Quick, yo, that shit felt like we was on the Titanic and the Titanic was sinking. Damn. And, like, we had, like, a certain amount of time to get out of there and get away, or we were going to die or get busted, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, shit.
And I had some, you know, I have a lot of stories, but I had big raids in the Dewey Yard where I got raided by housing police, transit police, and blue and white police. Because, you know, Bo lived right there in the projects.
Right.
So they would raid you with housing, transit, which was black and white, and the regular blue and white police, you know? Yeah, damn. I just want to, you know, give a shout out to my son, Little Man.
Yeah, man.
Word.
You know, he like
Little Annie.
Yeah, Little Annie.
All grown up and shit.
Yeah, you know, I'll tell you, he does like he's like, he got really nice with his style, man. And like a lot of dudes say, oh, you know, he's only good because Min was his father. You know, Min shows him what to do and everything. I never showed him nothing. All that. He would just draw, and like he would get ideas from me. But if you look at his stuff, he's got his own. You know, like you could tell he's influenced from my style, but he's got his own style. And he would ask me, yo, what do you think of this? And I would like, you know, give him like little things like, yo, you know, you should do this like this. This has to come from this arrow has to be coming from it's got to be coming from somewhere and going somewhere. Everything's got to make sense. You can't just like throw an arrow over here or this or that. You know, like I explained to him, like, you know, like the biology of graffiti, you know.
Word.
You know, so, you know, I always like, you know, it's like crazy. I never thought like my son would like get into graffiti like that, you know, but, you know, it's good because like, you know, he never like got arrested, you know, he doesn't have no record. He's a good kid. He don't do drugs.
Right.
You know, so, you know, it's a good thing, man, you know, because I'll tell you, when I grew up, New York was a different place, man. It was much more violent. You know, I mean, they still had 42nd Street. I mean, New York isn't even New York to me anymore. You know, like when I walk around New York City, it's don't even look the same. Don't even feel the same. I mean, you used to walk down the street, and if a dude looked at you a certain way, you'd be like, yo, what the fuck you looking at? And, you know, we just start fighting. You know, that's what I used to do when I used to bomb. I would, like, get into fights with dudes on the street because in order to be a good fighter, you got to keep fighting. So I would, like, pick fights in the street just to keep my knuckle game up to par, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, it's like I was the king, so it was like, you know, I had a lot of fights with writers, and, you know, there ain't no writer that could ever say he beat me down one-on-one. Like, I had, like, a few good ones with writers and shit like that. But most of the writers, you know, I beat them down. But the shit is like, you know, you would just have to like, it was like you would have to like keep your knuckle game up to par. Like that's why you would like, whatever, yo, what you looking at? Just start fighting. Because if you don't fight a lot, you start losing your fucking skills. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't fight like I used to fight when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not even into that anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I hear you.
I'm an adult now, you know? It's not about that anymore. And, like, plus, you know, you can't, let me tell you something, man. Anybody that stays the same way their whole life, like, when I was young, I went through my phases, and, like, you know, now I'm, like, you know, an older adult, and, like, you know, I'm mellow. It's like, I was still acted the same way I acted in the 80s, I'd be a moron, because everybody's got to change, man. Life is about changing. A rose don't last forever. You know what I'm saying? And that's like one reason why I quit writing, because, you know, it was like, what was I going to do? Keep writing forever? You know, to me, like what I said in Style was, once I did what I felt, you know, like, I couldn't do anymore. Like, it was like I was just like repeating myself.
Yeah.
I stopped, you know?
Yeah, man.
Because it came to a point where it was like, you know, for me, and, you know, from what everybody told me, like, I would meet writers that I used to see up when I was like a little kid, like LSD On, the Rebels. You know, like, you know, I used to see them when I was young. You know, now, like, you know, we're friends and shit, you know, because I know him for a long time. But when he met me, like in 83, he was like, yo, you're like the end of the 80s, bro. He was like, yo, I see you on every fucking train. And it used to be weird because these dudes that I used to look up to, you know, like, they would, like, now they was looking up to me, you know, and that was the weird shit, you know?
That's dope.
Yeah.
You know?
You gave so much for the freaking game, towards the game, man. You killed it.
You know? Oh, yeah, there was a thing I wanted to talk about, like, you know, like where Fresh Kids came from.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because, like, you were talking about it on the...
He's going to clear...
I heard, you know, like, one of, like, your...
You going to clear the air?
I was close, right? Was I close or not?
Well, yeah, you were close, but it wasn't really a writing crew.
Gotcha.
It was like, Soul used to throw us sneakers, and, you know, that was my man, because he used to work in the sneaker store.
Yeah.
But I made up Fresh Kids in City Hall when I was with Bo and Rich. I said, yo, I just thought of this crew. I'm going to call it Fresh Kids with 2 Ds.
Yeah.
Because when you're the kid, it used to be with 2 Ds, like the kid. Yo, I'm the kid. Like back in the 70s, they'd be like, yo, I'm the kid. You know, that would be like, you like a bad nigga, you know what I'm saying? And if you're a KID, that means you're a little kid. So that's why I always wrote it with 2 Ds. But Fresh Kids was just a thing. Like, everybody, like, in our crew, like, in Fresh Kids, we all wore the same sneakers, white Abdul-Jabbars. And it only used to be me, Bo, and Rich. And then eventually Kel put himself in, you know, because he was like, yo, I got to get to writing that, you know. Because, you know, Kel was one of the baddest writers, too, you know?
Yeah.
As far as burners and all that shit, you know, and then, like, you know, we made it into a little crew, but it really wasn't a graffiti crew. It was like, you know, like it was like Fresh Kids. Like, we were always fresh. We always had jewelry on. We always had fresh bitches. We always, like, you know, had gazelles on, you know. That's what it was about, you know, back in the 80s, staying fresh, you know.
Word.
But, it wasn't about anybody, like, you know, I don't know, man, you know. I just explained to you. I'm the one that made it up, so I just explained to you where it came from. You know, so if anything tells you anything else,
yeah.
I mean, you heard it from the horse's mouth. You know,
Word, okay. All right. I stand corrected, you know.
You know what I'm saying?
Word.
But,
thanks for clearing that up, man, for real.
Yeah, you know,
Hell
because
yeah.
it wasn't, you know, it was like a weird thing, because, like, nobody ever, like, you know, like, came out with a crew that sounded like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So then it was like combined it with graffiti, You know what I'm saying? Like when we used to go to the yard, we used to wear like fresh Adidas running suits like over our gear, you know, and like throw socks over our Pumas. And then when we come out the yard, we just pull everything off and we'd be fresh. We'd have gold chains on. Cops would ride by us. They'd be looking for writers, looking like they just came out of the yard, and we looking like we just came out of club. You know what I'm saying?
Word. Yo, real quick, man, real quick.
Yeah, what do you want to know,
man? All right, so, you know, subway art is like the Bible. Star Wars is like the ultimate documentary of all time, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
The grandfather of all freaking graph documentaries. And so, tell us bring us back to that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, tell us what it was like during productions when you guys were doing your missions, and you brought Henry with you. You know, a guy that was much older, that didn't write, had all this equipment with him. What was that like? You know, when him getting
it was crazy. I mean,
Martha
when
too,
we
right?
were in,
Martha Cooper.
before we did Style Wars, you know, we used to bring Martha Cooper and Henry to New Lots. And I remember one time it was me, Henry, Nair, and you know that famous picture of me with the hat on, in the train. It's a black and white picture.
Yeah,
that was the night we got raided that night.
Oh,
and
shit.
yo, Henry had like all this equipment with me, and you had to like run down like a hill because New Lots was like on top of like we used to call Shy used to call it Fort New Lots because it looked like a fort because it was like up in the air. But when you went into the hole of the fence, you had to like run, like climb up this hill to get to the train. And when we were running down the hill, I swear to God, Henry almost fucking flattened me, bro. He was running in back of me so fast, he almost ran me over, bro.
Damn.
Shit was crazy. But you know, what I want to say about Style Wars was, it was funny, man, because when we filmed it, like transit cops were there, detectives and all that, and they were saying, yo, if we catch you just even writing your name on a piece of paper with a pencil, we're locking you up.
Damn.
That's what they said to us. And you know what the funny thing was?
Yeah.
In between the scenes, like Henry would be like, all right, we're going to take an hour break, go eat dinner.
Yeah.
It was funny. When you saw us, remember the scene where you see me, Satch and Quick, like running across Union Turnpike, across the coming out of Hatch, running across, that was Union Turnpike. Right after that scene, they said take a break. You know what I'm saying? I had like a creased hat on backwards. That was Shy's hat.
Okay.
Let him rest in peace.
Rest in
You know,
peace.
'cause his mother, blessed me with a lot of his clothes, like when he passed away. You know,
Gotcha.
because she knew I was like his best friend. You know, and it was like. When they told us to take a break, you know where we went? We went to the E&F yard, which was maybe like a half a mile away, bombed the whole yard in like an hour, and then came back and just started filming again.
Oh, shit.
And the DTs were so stupid. If they would have followed us, well, we were looking to see if they were following us. If they would have followed us because we were in Quick's car, they would have seen in between the scenes we were fucking bombing yards. In between the scenes and Style Wars, we were going to the E&F yard.
Damn.
That shit's crazy, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
That's dope.
I never told nobody about that. That's the first time I ever told anybody about that. I mean, I told my son about it, but like I never like.
I'm just gonna say it real quick. MPC, what's up, man? I mean, what's going on with that? Did it ever get squashed?
Well, that's something that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
We threw down with MPC. There was like 6 of us. It was like me, Rich, this dude that wrote Jack, TNS, RTW, Fresh Kids. He was a black kid from the Lower East Side. My boy Mace, this Italian kid from Queens.
Okay.
Kaz, he was just watching my girlfriend. He wasn't fighting. So I only came with like 5 or 6 dudes. And I remember Mace told me, my boy, who was from Astoria, and at that time I was living in Astoria.
Okay.
he told me, yo, let's bring these 2 sticks in case, you know, them niggas might roll up with like 30 dudes with bats and chains. And that's exactly what they did.
Oh, shit.
Because I'm around the corner with my girl, you know, sitting with Kaz on his car.
Yeah.
And Mace comes running around the corner. We were like right on 116th and Lenox where they used to sell the Illy, the dust.
Okay.
I told them, oh, y'all want to get Illy? Well, let's meet at the Illy spot and we'll get ill.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what's up. And Mace came running around the corner. He's jumping up and down. It looked like a cartoon. It was like funny. He's jumping down going, man, it's NPC. There's like 30 of them. They got bats. They got chains. So I went right in the street. I grabbed a big stick. Mace grabbed a big stick. And we just ran around the corner. And like right on 116, where the 2 train, the 2 and the 5, the 2 train used to stop, 2 and the 3. They're running up the stairs, and I'm just like cracking them dudes in the head with the stick as they're running up the stairs.
Damn.
And there was like a lot of them niggas, bro. And it sounds like, you know, like whatever. It sounds like a story or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like 6 of us, and we beat down like 35 dudes, bro. Them dudes was just running, bro, bleeding and running.
Damn. And what year was this? What year was that?
This was 84, the end of 84.
Okay, wow. That was fresh off that beef. Yeah, that was around that time.
Yeah, and the only reason Cap wasn't there is because he was in Rikers Island.
Mm.
But if Cap was there, he would have got it too.
Shit.
Believe me. You know, like, yo, we was on some real shit, bro, back then, man.
Even if y'all was filming that movie?
Even if you were shooting a movie, it would have just been boom, boom, boom. That's the way it would have went.
Even if we was filming that movie, we wasn't filming the movie when we was fighting.
I was messing around that.
Yeah, I know. It would have been funny if we would have fucking had, because the cops grabbed Mace and Kel, because Kel was there too. And they said, damn, we should have let it go like another 30 seconds, and there would have been bodies.
Wow.
That's what they told Kel and Mace. And then they let him go.
That's crazy.
They said that shit looked like the Warriors. That's what cops were saying. They said that shit looked like some shit out of a fucking movie.
That's
the dust dudes, the dust sellers were all bugging out to me. They were all going, yo, man, because they all knew my name. They were like, yo, man, don't do it here, bro. You're going to bring the cops. And I was just ignoring them because I'm in the middle of fucking dudes coming at me with chains, fucking switching hands at the stick, back slapping dudes with the stick in the head, cracking dudes in the head. Shit was crazy, bro. But they caught it that night. And, you know, a story. That's a story in a fight that not many people know about.
Wow. Appreciate that, man. Again, you know what I'm saying, that drop, that's we definitely appreciate that. You used to go out to Bushwick and you used to see PG3. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was my boy, bro.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, the nigga used to make me French toast every morning, bro. Word up.
Rest in peace, George, man.
And he had a little brother.
Yeah, man.
He had a little brother too.
That was when he used to live by Knickerbocker. Yeah, in Bushwick.
Yeah, I brought him. He used to live across the street from the precinct. Remember?
Exactly. That's where they did the rest in peace at, on that same wall.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow.
Yep, you know the deal, bro.
Hell yeah, bro. So did you guys ever paint together, like in the 80s and shit, or?
Yeah, I used to take him. Me and him fucking took over the fucking 2s and 5s together, bro.
Nice.
And there was a time where, when we were doing that he had went over some DUE pieces.
Okay.
That shocked it, and like, you know, that was like, you know, I know you were the TVS, you know, that was a whole nother story.
Of course.
You know, a whole nother crew, wild ass crew I used to be down with, and like, you know, Shock was telling me, yo, you gotta set that nigga up, man. You gotta let me meet that nigga. And I was like, yo, I ain't never setting up PG. I said, he didn't go over you on purpose. And I told PG about it.
Yeah.
And PG was like, you know how PG was. PG wasn't scared of nobody.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? let him rest in peace. But, that dude Shock was not, he wasn't in Shock's league. I'm sure you know about Shock 123.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think there was any writer. I don't think there was any 3 writers that could have dealt with that dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Damn.
I mean, he did like 20 years for 2 bodies.
Shit.
Damn.
So you ended up squashing the beef with for PG.
After a while, they knew I wasn't gonna, go PG around.
Exactly.
They thought they were like, yo, just act like you going writing with them and we'll show up. And I'm like, yo, man, crazy, I ain't doing that to PG, bro. And they're like, yo, you grew up with us, man. You are brothers and shit like that. I said, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's very true, but I ain't doing no shit like that to a dude like PG because that's a real dude. That's like a brother to me too.
Exactly.
So they kind of took it like, yeah, men ain't gonna do it, so let's just like put it to rest.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. Good story, man. Rest in peace, George, as well. I think Kez5 said he may have been locked up with you. I'm not sure if.
Yeah, he was locked up with me in 6 building.
Yeah, he mentioned it to me. He said, yeah, I was locked up with men, cool cat. So,
yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I was with Kaz.
Yeah.
In the 6 building, I met him a few times. But really, I met Kaz through J.A. like years ago.
Gotcha. Wow.
J.A. could give anybody, if you want to ask anybody about how I rap, ask J.A. about the time J.A. brought me to Long Island.
Really?
They'll tell you I was walking out with TV sets. I'm sure he told you, right, dude?
No, he had given me one of the best stories ever, man, about you. When you weren't sober at the time, but you used to rack in the city. I think you had a TV or something like that. You threw it through like one of those store displays to grab something behind the store displays on Fifth Ave. Yeah. And while you were reaching in there and looting the place, your gazelle fell off the top of your head. And when you came back, the window was repaired. They put a whole new window display, and your gazelles was part of the display. And that was like one of the funniest stories.
You about that?
Yo, he told me that story. I almost pissed at myself, man. That shit was too funny.
That shit's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. They did. That's a true story.
Graffstars.
Yeah, man. That was one of the funniest stories he told me and shit about you and the racking escapades and shit, man.
He said the gazelles.
He took me to Long Island a few times. Forget it, man.
Yeah, man. Any plans to travel abroad, and spread the word of R2W and,
Yeah.
Artwork-wise and all that? Commissions?
Yeah, of course. I got things, I'm working on right now. I got a book about to come out.
Right. You told me that.
Nice.
When's the ETA for that? When can we expect to see that project come to life?
Should be out in like the next 6 to 8 months, probably the longest.
Okay.
Should have been out like 2 or 3 years ago, but the dude that I did it with, that nigga's so busy and busy making money all the time. I spoke to him today, though, and he said, yo, we're going to get together this week and, put the finishing touches on it and get it, pumping.
Word, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Word. You got to get signed copies from you, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's going to be bananas. You're gonna have
the book is this shit. There's a lot of stories in my book, bro.
Word. We're definitely going to have to get you back again.
Oh, of course.
Do a part 2. We really appreciate you coming out, staying up with us and dropping the stories and exclusive with us. And, we definitely would love to have you come back out again for sure. Do you have any closing remarks? Any shouts or anything like that you want to share with people before we
just always want to give a shout out to, my son, Little Men, that's my heart,
Word.
It's like, very proud of him, and always Shiloh 47, all my other brothers that passed away.
Right.
I always think about people, I don't like mentioning a lot of people's names and shit, getting into it like that. I always mention Shock because that was like my brother, you know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Not that I think any less of anybody else, but I don't like, getting into talk, mentioning people that died and all that, that's like the pressure, man.
Right.
No, I hear you, man.
That's one thing that, I noticed about graffiti, man. You know, like the most famous graffiti writers passed away practically, man. You know, and it's like wrestling. You know how like all the famous wrestlers now?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I always used to say, like wrestling is like a jinx. That's how it seems like how writing is, man. Like a lot of famous writers, man. You know, like Dawn, man, and a lot of dudes I wrote with too. You know, and it's like sad, you know, but I just wish the best of health to everybody, and you know, everybody that like writes now, you know, do your thing, you know. Y'all probably never heard of me or whatever, maybe seen it in movies or in books, but you know, really like, you know, it's like guys like, you know, like you do and you Heck that like old writers,
right?
And, you know, that like, you know the deal and shit. Because like a lot of people just think, you know, like I'd be like, you know, talking shit or whatever, but you know, if anything, I'd be like, you know, I'd be on the humble shit now, you know. Because if you would have talked to me back in the days, man, I was like, you remember how I was, dude. I was like...
True legend.
Yep. It was different.
Yeah, Butthole Central and shit, you know.
Real quick, big shout out to Bo, too. Bo, RTW, wow, cool cat, man. I met him not too long ago, man.
Give a shout out to my boy,
you know
Bo.
what I'm saying? Stay healthy.
That was like... Yeah, that was one of my favorite partners, man. You know, that was like one of my downest partners, you know, like...
Yeah.
You know, his mother is like my mother, you know what I'm saying?
Nice, man.
And, you know, he's a little sick right now with his throat. You know, I wish him the best.
Hell yeah,
You know, I still speak to him and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but, you know...
Yeah, we had a good conversation, too.
You know, shit like that is, like, depressing, man.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I just wish him the best, you know?
I sat down with him. He gave me a couple war stories that were pretty funny, man. They were pretty funny, but they were good, though.
You know, Bo loves the shit out of me, man.
Hell
you know,
yeah.
It's vice versa, you know? Like brothers, man.
Hell yeah, bro.
You know, when his mother sees me, his mother, like, considers me a son, you know?
Nice, man.
But, you know... Bo was a real wild nigga back in the days, believe me.
Hell yeah. he said it.
We were like fucking off the hook, man.
Wow.
But anyway, yo,
you did your
I'll
thing.
meet you soon, Heck.
Yeah,
you know
man.
what I'm saying?
1,000%.
It'll be a pleasure, and you know, I'd like to come by, you know, like. You know, we'll go out to dinner sometime or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
man. We'll kick it. You know what I'm saying? You could bring little men. You know what I'm saying? We'll definitely kick it. And
yeah, no doubt. Bring my son.
Yeah, man.
No doubt.
We'll chop it up. We'll have a good time, man. Whenever you're in New York, you know what I'm saying? I'll take care of you.
Doing this interview, and you know, give a shout out, you know, to my boy, also EL3 channel, the Non-Stoppers. You know, to me, it's like, you know, I don't even really like, you know, this was like coming out, and it was like a party for me, you know, because it's like, you know, I don't even really talk about graffiti no more.
Right.
You know, unless my son asks me about it, you know.
Okay.
You know, because the most important thing is that you know the truth about it, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, my son, you know, says what's up to everybody, and he says his love to everybody, man.
Yeah, if he's there, you could put him on, man, so you can give a quick shout out. If Hey, what's up, brother?
What up, little man?
Yo, what's going on, Duel and Heck?
What's up, man? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, man.
So you carrying the
How's
leg?
it going?
You carrying the torch, right?
I don't know. I'm like new, I guess, to me. I'm used to listening, actually.
What do you think of
cool, man.
What do you think of the show so far? Have you heard any episodes yet?
Yeah, I've listened to a few, actually. I've listened to the Soul one. I listened to the one you guys uploaded, I think, yesterday or the day before.
Okay.
I think the introductory
one. Yeah. That's cool, man. We appreciate you listening.
Yeah, it's entertaining because there's, you know, it's graffiti, obviously. And
right.
Anything graffiti is intriguing to me, as you very well know, but there's not really, you know, if any, podcasts that talk about graffiti. So
right.
I'm interested.
That's cool, man. Well, how does it feel, man, being the, you know, and I don't mean that, you know, that to say that you're, you know, like, you know, in his shadow, but how does it feel to have a dad that, you know, has done so much for the culture, you know?
It's like, it's weird to me because, like, I just, you know, he's my dad.
Right.
You know, I see him as my dad. Like,
exactly.
When I was young, you know, I wasn't even into that. Like, I only started, like, to 2011, so
Okay.
like not that long. And I started with just like looking at his stuff and like trying to do his stuff. And I remember specifically sending Duel like a couple of my min pieces, and they were like ones I did like looking at my dad's old pieces, and Duel would say, "Yo, that looks like one of your dad's old trains," and I was like, "Yeah," you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's like I always saw him as dad, not min, and but there are times I sometimes say like, "Yo, I can't believe you're a min and you're my dad,"
Right?
Because everybody says like, "Yo, you know who your dad is," stuff like that, But it's not like I'm not souped up or anything. I like to draw.
Yeah.
I like to learn. I love the history of graffiti, 70s, 80s, things like that.
Right.
And everything he's told me, like you can only imagine what he's told me.
I could imagine. You get the unedited, real deal version.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not that he wasn't holding back here, but I'm pretty sure you get it the way it is. And
like stories that he would never tell anybody.
Right. Exactly.
That I know, and that I wouldn't even tell anybody, even if he said I could, because I just, I appreciate them that much. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's cool, bro. And I see you do. We definitely see you doing your thing, and I've been seeing some of your sketches, and you definitely, what I'm saying, you're getting there, man. Your stuff is real good, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
No, for sure, man.
I just got to learn how to use paint now. That's what everybody says. They're like, "Oh, these are nice outlines. I want to see it on a wall." And I'm just like,
I know.
Okay.
A lot. That's what they're gonna say.
Teach me,
That's what they're gonna say. Get it on the wall. Get on the wall. Get on the wall. And it's true. It is true. But at least you have that. You're getting the sketching down pack, and you're learning letters and how to build them up and how to tweak them and fit them in. So and you took letters and made them your own. So that's what counts. Your dad said that you were coming up with your own style. So I think that's the most important thing.
Like my dad was saying earlier, like people like have this misconception, like my dad like held my hand, like showing me lines and how to draw and all that. It ain't like that. But behind closed doors,
right?
I would do drawings, and I remember asking my dad, like in like 2012, 13, like, "Yo, how do you do pieces?"
Yeah.
And I don't remember word for word what he said, but I just did a piece one day. It was an Annie. I think I have a picture of it somewhere. And he did the 3D for me, and I was like, "Yo, I kind of like this," and it just took off from there. But
that's dope, man.
Other than that, I don't know. And I've just improving since then.
Yeah, well,
very dope, man.
I can see.
Yeah,
myself
man.
Now.
Keep us posted on everything that you do, man. And we'll continue to follow you along. You know what I'm saying, on your journey, bro.
Yeah. We'll do a little catching up, man. We got to wrap this up because the
no doubt.
extra extended. But we appreciate you coming on and your pops as well, man. We'll catch up soon, brother.
Yeah, I didn't know I was going to be a little extra special guest, but I appreciate you guys giving me some
my bonus track, baby.
Of course, man. The bonus.
Yeah.
No, so, man, we appreciate you, and we appreciate your dad's time. It's important, and we know that, what I'm saying, you put a lot of energy behind, making sure your father is looked at in the right light. So that's important, man. You know what I'm saying? Look out for him. They say honor thy father, and you're definitely doing it, man.
Yeah, no doubt. I appreciate the kind words. And once again, it was nice meeting you and talking to you and talking to you again, Duel.
All right, my brother.
Yeah, man. Whenever you're in New York, man, you come check us, man. We'll definitely, I'll definitely be in touch with you guys through Duel. So if anything, reach out. All right, brother?
Yeah, no doubt.
You got it, man.
Nice to meet you guys.
Anytime. Nice to meet you, brother.
All right, peace.
Peace. Yo, D, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, you dropped the call already?
Yo, that was excellent. Yeah, they're off.
All right. That was better than...
Yo, I didn't know he was going to come on there and start rehashing shit. I was like, oh, no.
Which one?
Nah, but that was cool. That was a good interview, man. Really appreciate, the words of wisdom from Min One, you know what I'm saying?
No pun intended. No pun intended.
You know what I mean?
Wow crew, words of wisdom, you know what I'm saying?
And, yeah, man. That's a wrap on that one.
That was an amazing interview. Classic, legendary guest, you know what I'm saying, along with his son. And you heard it here, the HD Network, you know what I'm saying? Hey. Yo, D.
Graffstars. Graffstars.
Is this the beginning, baby?
Graffstars.
Mike C. Mesa. BLB's rocking it, yes, he is rocking it. Tito rocking it, yes, he is rocking it. Mike C. rocking it, yes, he is rocking it.
Graffstars.
To be included into swag bag giveaways, please send correspondence to D1 NYC, care of Graffstars HD Network. P.O. Box 5345, Oceanside, California 92052.